What's up, guys? I am Sarah Caney. Thank you so much for coming back again and watching another awesome video. But before we get started, be sure to follow me on Instagram, links are down below as always, and subscribe and become a part of our awesome Socially Awkward family. And hit the notification bell so you can get notified as soon as I post a new video. And I post them all week, so there's gonna be a lot. But yeah, Halloween still has yet to come, so we are continuing with the scary theme. Today we are reacting to the most haunted places in the world, part 2. I love learning about these places. I'm never gonna go actually investigate, but they're fun to read about. So I hope you like it and enjoy the video, and let's do this. The Whaley House in San Diego, California. What? That's my state. That is a little too close for comfort. Thomas Whaley built this family estate in 1857 on the former site of San Diego's first public gallows. Well, that's an interesting place to build a house. Shortly after he moved in, he reported hearing the heavy footsteps of Yankee Jim Robinson, a drifter and thief who was hanged on the site 4 years before the house was built. See, that's what you get. What you think was gonna happen? Whaley's family history ended up being filled with tragic deaths and suicide, many of which occurred inside the home itself. According to the Whaley House Museum, some of the family members still haunt the landmark, often accompanied by cigar smoke and the smell of heavy perfume. This house sounds pretty familiar. I think I've heard of the Whaley House, but I don't know, I'm dumb. But I know it's a pretty famous story. So yeah, don't go to this house if you smell smoke or perfume, run. And, just don't build a house where people used to be hanged. Yeah, I think that's a good tip. Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. Ooh, I've always wanted to go to Scotland. That looks like such a cool place. Oh, I'm forgetting this is supposed to be a scary video. Sorry. One of the biggest attractions in Scotland's capital city is also considered to be one of its most haunted, with sections dating back more than 900 years. The historic fortress' ancient dungeons have led visitors to the castle to report sightings of colonial prisoners from the American Revolutionary War, French prisoners from the 7 Years' War, and even the ghost of a dog wandering the castle's dog cemetery. Oh, there's a little dog running around looking for his ghost owner. I'll take you, it's okay. Dang, I've never seen a dungeon before. Is it like prison or worse? Forsyth Park in Savannah, Georgia. That is such a pretty little picture. I want to go. What's so haunted about it? The entire city of Savannah is pretty much one giant ghost story, due in large part to the mysterious tunnels that run below the town's streets. The underground structures play a major role in many of Savannah's most haunted locations, including Forsyth Park, the fountained green space you probably recognize from a postcard or two. Doctors at the adjacent Candler Hospital, now the Savannah Law School, performed autopsies in the tunnels below? That is so unsanitary! Maria Pinheiro, is that how you say it? A historian and spokesperson with Ghost City Tours, says these below-the-surface rumblings make Forsyth Park particularly ripe for sightings of shadowy, now you see them, now you don't figures. Those were such long sentences, oh my gosh. Dang, this whole town is just haunted. Kinda reminds me of my hometown. People always said the whole town was haunted with a bunch of ghosts from the war, but I never saw anything. Anyways, why would you be cutting people open in the tunnels? That is so gross. If I was dead and a doctor did an autopsy on me in tunnels, I would be like, boy, you're fired. Obfadine Canal from St. Petersburg, Russia. Dang, Russia has a lot of scary places. Running 5 miles through St. Petersburg, this canal goes by another much sinister name, the Suicide Canal. Ever since the artificial canal started being built in the late 18th century, strange events have surrounded the site, including construction workers complaining of headaches, sudden outbursts of violence, and of course, suicides. While most of the suicide attempts have been successful, people who have been saved claim that they don't know why they jumped in the water, or an invisible force pulled them off the banks. Some claim the force comes from restless souls lurking beneath the water, even claiming to see a woman in white floating just beneath the surface before suddenly disappearing. So if you ever find yourself in St. Petersburg on a gloomy day, maybe stick to the sidewalks. I don't understand how this canal is haunted if it was built. Like, if it's been there for centuries, if it was like a natural river canal, I would understand. But they built it and put it there. So did a demon just say, oh hey, new home for me, I'm gonna kill a bunch of people? Yeah, I don't get this. Oriental Theater, formerly Iroquois Theater in Chicago. Ghosts are said to haunt the theater in the Loop area of downtown Chicago, where almost 600 people perished after a fire famously broke out in 1903. Dang! People are just trying to go watch The Lion King and this happens? Even though the theater was completely rebuilt and rebranded, spirits of the dead remained. Apparitions have been seen in Death Alley, the street behind the theater, where bodies were stacked after the disaster. They just threw the bodies in an alley? What the heck? Of course it's haunted, they're mad! Even though this happened, you should still go to the theater. It's really fun, I promise. You won't get, killed in a fire. I hope. There are actually a lot of really cool legends and stories with ghost and theater in particular. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of a ghost light, but in theaters at night when you shut off all the power and everyone leaves, you're supposed to leave a single light bulb lit in the middle of the stage so ghosts can just act out their scenes and have fun without being disturbed. It's a really cool tradition. My theater didn't do it, so we were haunted by a really angry demon, but yeah, try it out. Raynham Hall, Norfolk, England. That's an interesting place. That's a really cool building. Built around 1620, the 7,000-acre Raynham Hall is one of the most impressive estates in Norfolk. As is the case with most historic buildings, the home also has its fair share of legends and ghost stories, most notably one surrounding Lady Dorothy Townshend. Dolly was the wife of Viscount Turnip Townshend, and the couple lived in Raynham Hall during the 18th century, during which time Dolly was reportedly locked up in the house by her husband? What? Lady Dorothy's ghost is now said to haunt the estate, as proven by a photo taken of her in the 1930s. No one has proved the picture taken of her is fake. They don't know. Lord Charles Raynham, the home's current resident, told BBC. Lord Charles? What is this, the 1800s? You know what? I want to rename myself Lady Sarah. It's happening. Why did he lock up his wife? What did she do? That's so mean. Divorce. The Forbidden City of Beijing, China. Ooh, this should be good. No trip to Beijing is complete without a visit to the Forbidden City, China's former imperial palace that now serves as a museum. But you might not know that the popular tourist destination has quite the reputation among supernatural enthusiasts. During its 600-year tenure as a palace, the complex had its fair share of murders, whether from jealous concubines poisoning one another or executions performed at the emperor's behest. Needless to say, there have been many reports of strange phenomena since the palace opened to the public in the 1940s. The most common story involves a woman dressed in white, strolling around the grounds and sobbing. She's looking for her husband that was murdered by the emperor for no reason. I guarantee. The RMS Queen Mary of Long Beach, California. That boat is so freaking cool. I stayed on there for a weekend with my parents and it was so creepy. And it's super fun to ghost hunt because the ship is huge, so you can just explore. I mean, there are some locked rooms like the pool house area, but yeah, otherwise there's a lot of other stuff to explore and it's really fun. Aside from a brief stint as a warship in World War II, the RMS Queen Mary served as a luxury ocean liner from 1936 to 1967. During that time, it was the site of at least one murder, a sailor being crushed to death by a door in the engine room, and children drowning in the pool. The city of Long Beach purchased the ship in 1967 and turned it into a hotel, and it still serves that purpose to this day. Although the reported ghosts of the deceased passengers get to stay for free. And apparently the ship's engine room is like a hotbed of paranormal activity. But I would say honestly the whole ship is super haunted and it's really cool just to look around. You can even look inside the pool house, but you just can't go in. I highly recommend it. Castle of Good Hope, Cape Town, South Africa. Now that looks like a creepy hospital. A sprawling building near the shoreline of Table Bay, the Castle of Good Hope dates back to 1666, making it the oldest colonial building in South Africa. Originally built by the Dutch East India Company as a replenishment station for ships, the site also served as a military fortress and prison during the Second Boer War from 1899 to 1902. Today you can tour the fort's many rooms and buildings, including the gruesome torture chamber. But you might want to prepare yourself for a ghost sighting. Back in the 1700s, Governor Pieter van Noot condemned several men to be hanged to death. One of the men cursed the governor from the gallows, and Van Noot died of a heart attack later that day. According to the Castle of Good Hope's official website, his ghost has been haunting the battlements ever since. Dang, everyone's just hanging and cursing each other all over the place. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to South Africa. Leap Castle, Coolderry, Ireland. Yeah, I butchered that, I'm sorry. That is such a cool castle. I'm actually Irish, so I've always wanted to go there. Built sometime between the 13th and late 15th century, this Irish castle has seen more gruesome deaths than a Game of Thrones wedding. That is a lot. As legend has it, during a struggle for power within the O'Carroll clan, which had a fondness for poisoning dinner guests, one member plunged a sword into his brother, a priest, as he was holding mass in the castle's chapel. The room is now called the Bloody Chapel, and the priest is said to haunt the church at night. During renovations in the early 1900s, workmen found a secret dungeon in the Bloody Chapel with so many human skeletons. They were filled 3 cartloads when hauled away. That is a lot. The dungeon was designed so that prisoners would fall through a trapdoor, have their lungs punctured by wooden spikes on the ground, and die a slow, horrific death within earshot of the sinister clan members above. Oh my god. This was at a chapel. That's so bad. It's not funny. No wonder he killed his brother. Do you think his brother knew, like, what he was doing to these people? Dang, a priest murdering people. That's messed up. And that is it for reacting to the most haunted places in the world part 2. These are some creepy places, and they get even creepier the more I look into them. Anyways, I hope you loved the video. Be sure to give it a like and share. And don't forget to subscribe and become a part of our awesome Socially Awkward family. And follow me on Instagram, links are down below. But yeah, comment below which one you thought was the creepiest, and I will see you beautiful people next time.